What the fuck? I give these guys one podcast and they go so far off the rails that fucking Tom Hanks can't even Polar Express it back. I apologize in advance for the anime bullshit that's incoming.
I'm here to derail everything! I'm pretty sure a rule will be instigated soon that Callan is not allowed on podcasts unless John is present. And John has to be given a week's notice. Your disturbance, you feel, is accurate.
I genuinely enjoy it. I genuinely enjoy the derail. It's what John gets every time he bails on the podcast, which he does quite a few times. So
every time he bails, include me, so that I can derail the fuck out of it.
If that won't teach him, nothing will.
No, because then you've got deniability. It was Callan.
It was Callan.
Everything's done. It was Callan. We swear.
As surely as Half-Life 3 will never be released, Uninformed has been unleashed upon the masses. And since our regular show host, John Clark, is unavailable, I'm declaring this Super Kawaii Special Anime Edition. Except we're probably not going to talk about anime.
Oh, we'll find a way.
We will. Suffering from far too much Super Kawaii is Callan Hillston.
Jedi-all.
Completely uninterested in the 16 girls furiously fighting over him, it's Andrew Finn.
Good evening.
And suffering from a nosebleed, it's Tucker.
Konbanwa. Super kawaii desu yo!
We start as we mean to go on.
Gentlemen, welcome. So, let's start at the beginning, shall we? Does anyone have some follow-up?
No, but I have some very entertaining news about myself. I struggled walking home from work today.
Were you highly intoxicated?
No, I was completely sober and I fell over perfectly flat ground and annihilated my ankle.
Okay. The
Please
walk
laugh copiously at me.
The walk between work and home for you is like 500 meters. It's nothing.
I axed myself a lot. Yeah. Mondays.
You numpty.
Yep,
which is why, if you can hear that, this is the sound of a brown plastic bag encasing a whiskey bottle.
That is the correct medicine to apply whenever any form of pain is involved, basically.
Well, I also have ice.
Well, I just have a beer. How about you, gents?
I have a McDonald's cup. But it's empty.
I do have a empty mug in which my latte was once upon, but is now in my stomach. It was delicious, though.
A bottle of that vodka that's in a skull.
My brother's got that.
Skull vodka. That stuff's deadly.
It's like $60, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I got it for my birthday.
It's also 50% alcohol. Good stuff.
And you get quite a nice skull to have afterwards. So.
It is a pity that John isn't here. My piece of follow-up for tonight was going to be some bashing on the Xbox, since we were talking about the Xbox last episode.
You don't need to bash on the Xbox, it does it itself.
Oh, I know, but I'm so good at it.
Fair enough.
Well, you should do it, and you won't have any rebuttals from John. So.
This is true. So, gentlemen, a patch has just been released for the Xbox One that only just now gives it the ability to play 3D Blu-ray discs.
So when was this launched? Like, when was the Xbox launched? Last year?
Didn't they try to release it as, much more a media center than a gaming platform?
I believe they did. That's why they called it the Xbox One, because it was the one to do everything.
All in one.
Except for playing Blu-ray films. Or 3D Blu-ray.
It's the one that couldn't do shit.
I guess I will step into John's shoes for one quick second, and the only defense would be no one watches 3D Blu-ray at home.
True. His initial response would be physical media.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
The point is, this is supposed to be your media center, so if it can't play 3D Blu-rays, or couldn't up until now, that's just another reason to get a PlayStation, isn't it?
You don't need any other reason to get it, you just get the PlayStation. That's
Well,
why it's
anyway.
still selling better than the Xbox One.
Yeah. Well, removing the Kinect was a good move on their part.
It helped, but apparently the PS4 is still selling a bit better.
Yeah. Not in Japan, apparently, though. Surprised.
Except for Japan.
Yeah. Well, Cal would probably agree that they just need to release some visual novels on the PlayStation platform, and bam, sales.
Every platform needs visual novels.
Very true,
Nice.
very true. All right. Oh, damn it! And you know what? My main story was going to be Apple bashing as well. This entire episode is ruined. Where are you, John?
That's fine. He'll be cringing when he listens to this later on. Just
Yes.
want to strangle us all.
All
Either
right.
that, or he'll just completely remove this segment. And it'll just
that
be
is-
some sort of like Apple propaganda, followed by praising Xbox. So
This is entirely possible. All right, Cal, let's go straight to you. What's your news piece for tonight?
Considering you guys gave me about 10 minutes notice, don't really have a news feed, but I'm wondering...
Well, you were watching a very funny video when we first started talking to you tonight.
Yes, those who don't know me, I actually used to work on ATMs. I was an ATM hardware technician, and I found that a group of guys in Australia, I'm fairly sure from a company I used to do business with, are playing Doom on an ATM.
Now,
nice.
how do you install that?
Actually, it's surprisingly easy because most of the ATMs just don't use old legacy hardware. Most of the ones back when I was working on them were just 386s. Some of the newer ones were P4s. Yes, the newer ones were P4s. And
Solid technology.
And all of them usually ran either very old versions of Windows, or the majority of them actually were on OS2. So all of it is essentially runnable. Everything is there to run Doom. It's just about opening it up and getting to the core. And the core is always at the top, round the back.
I see, but aren't these things supposed to be like completely hack-proof, like pretty much down to the hardware?
Yeah, well, no, they're not hack-proof. Not really in any true sense of the word. Most of it's software locking. So they run a process that locks the hardware to the BIOS settings. So if any hardware is changed at all, the entire thing needs reflashing.
Wow.
It needs reloading and reflashing, and if you don't do that, it locks everything. It runs that sysprep, checks all the hardware, something doesn't match up, it shuts everything down in the firmware. So it writes to the firmware, do not boot, and it won't boot.
I see. What we need is a thing where every time you kill one of the demons in Doom, it just dispenses $10 or something.
Just gives you $1. Here, have $1.
Funnily enough, you can actually totally do that. It's a relatively simple serial command to test the cartridges.
That is awesome. Alright, gents, what else we got? Andrew.
For a news story, NASA is trying to get help for a Earth to Mars data link, because their Curiosity rover at the moment is uploading its data at a pretty appalling rate of 500 bits per second.
Wow.
To its orbiter, which can upload to Earth at 2 megabytes per second, which is a hell of a lot faster, obviously. But as of 2020, NASA does not have any plans for a orbiter that can relay the data from the rovers. There's a couple of them inbound. They've got one of their own, which is due to arrive in 2016, and one this year as well. The Mars Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution satellite, which is meant to go in service in September of this year, and then Europe's ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter will be up and running in 2016. But as of 2020, there's no plans for a new one, so they've gone to basically private sector, asking universities and like private space firms to try and develop a basically new orbiters to be sent as a data uplink between the surface of Mars and Earth for their rovers. So this is very preliminary. There's no one's taken them up on the offer yet. Hopefully they will, because it'd be pretty cool. Because if you could get cooperation in terms of sending orbiters to Mars and that, I mean, you could probably get cooperation in a lot of other areas of the space industry. Hopefully inject a bit of capital into it and get it moving a bit faster, because look, to be honest, I want a moon base, and I want it now. That's what I want, and if this helps us to get a moon base, then I'm all for it.
Well, the first thing we need to do is come up with a better naming scheme for these damn orbiters. What was that first one called? The Volatile Evolution something?
Well, it's abbreviated to MAVEN, which is even worse. Mars Atmosphere and Volatile Evolution Satellite.
Sounds like a disappointed aunt.
Yes. I'm watching you, and I'm very disappointed.
And then there's Europe's ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter.
Interesting.
Most
Yeah,
uninspired names in history.
I will say this: the current transfer rate doesn't seem too terrible, given the extremely, the great distance between, say, Earth and Mars. The fact that it's transmitting at, what was it? Was it 2 megabits or
2 megabits. Well, between the Earth and Moon, we hit 622 megabits per second.
Yeah, but the Mars is significantly further away.
Well, yeah,
from
they
Earth
use the
than
laser.
Well, yeah, no, the ping is going to be a real problem.
Yes. You're not getting Counter-Strike through that connection.
You'll get kicked from every server.
Well, it's several light seconds, so...
Kicked due to high ping.
Actually, I think it's a couple of light minutes. It's like...
I think it's like 4 minutes or
something
something. I know
like
the sun to here is 8 minutes.
that.
So, what happens... It must be like a different data transfer protocol, because if something happens in between me and the local server, my computer will go, oh, no, that byte didn't get through to me correctly, the checksum didn't add up. Can you resend that package? But I can't imagine you could do that in between Mars and Earth.
Well, no, the whole thing is that it doesn't matter because you're using a layer 1, you're altering only layer 1 and 2. It's only layers 3 and 4 that the protocol actually matter. Layer 1 and 2 is the physical connection, and that usually doesn't care about protocol so long as the layer 3 on the other side can understand it. So, for
Just don't worry
example,
about the signal dropping out, like between the points, or having extreme interference that's going to probably put it out of sync. That's what you're probably worried more about.
because remember, everything in the end is just a signal of some form. It's not a physical packet moving down the line, so... It's just so long as the two points understand each other, it doesn't matter what protocol you use.
Yeah. As long as we don't get any backhoe-related signal attenuation, which is a common phrase in Australia because we don't know where any of our data lines are buried, and so we keep on accidentally digging through them. I got that just the other day. I got a nice call from Telstra going, really sorry about that phone line that's been out for like the last 3 weeks. We finally got it fixed, to which our response was, oh no, we've switched to Optus and we're piggybacking our phones over their fibre, so we didn't even notice. Carry on. Tucker, what's your piece for tonight? I should in fact ask, did you have any follow-up? Please don't let it be about the bloody international.
It's totally not about international. But in other news, mainly the international, somewhat disappointed with the finals. I will say that.
Really?
Yeah, it was a bit of a landslide. I will say. Well, not a complete landslide because they didn't win straight up 3 games. But the first game, it was interesting. But then the 3 following games, not as good. It was completely one-sided, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it just. First blood came really quickly, and just from there, you're like, yeah, nah, it's all over. So, like, I really enjoyed last year's international, and this year's just didn't hold up to it.
So you were basically like Brazil in the soccer championships.
Yeah, all this. It was probably similar, a similar fate to Brazil. So, I enjoy the, back and forth, to and fro kind of matches. So, one team wins the first match, second team wins the second match, and then it goes on to the 5th match where that's the match that counts, and it's this big intense battle, and it's kind of to and forth, back and throw, and then in the end it's like, oh, it's a base race, oh, they're going for it, oh, this massive play that turned the tide for the game, and that's what won it. No, that didn't happen. It was completely one-sided, and they got their ass kicked.
Well, you can't always guarantee it, so...
Yeah, like you think if you got to the finals of the international, you're going to be set up for a really good series, and it just didn't happen.
It just depends how good you are, I suppose.
Yeah.
Also, they might have been expecting that the other side were going to do a certain tactic, and then it just didn't happen.
I don't know. It's either they kept thinking this tactic will work, or just maybe it was bad hero selection, or just too many counters. It's just the fact that at the start of the game, from game 2 onwards, it's just the opponents just dominated them with that first blood. I watched a lot of these where the first blood took place, and it's just yeah, it was well executed to the point where the other team just couldn't. They just couldn't counter it. So maybe it was just a psychological thing where they just couldn't handle the pressure, or maybe just it got to the heads game 1, then game 2 happened, they got snapped, and then it was just downhill from there.
Yeah.
So which does happen in professional gaming, and if sometimes getting that first win in a series means a lot. It's a major psychological advantage you have over your opponent. But then the fact that they lost the second game, it just went downhill from there. So I don't know. I was greatly saddened by it.
Oh, that's a pity. But I mean, with that much money up in the air, well,
that's the thing, $10 million.
Psych. That's a lot of cash. I mean, I enjoy playing competitive CSGO, for example, just because it's competitive. But if there was $10 million up there, I would freak out. I would not be able to cope. So no, that's too sad. Is that also your news piece for tonight?
No, it's not.
Well, do regale.
Okay, so I came across this, which I thought was quite interesting. So the 2020 Olympic Games are going to be held in Japan, which we all know. And I came across this article on Reddit that, to spice things up a bit, the Japanese government are considering running these robot games inside of it. So we're going to get some robot matchups in our Olympics.
Robot matchups.
Robot matchups.
Interesting.
I'd watch that. I would totally watch that.
I would watch it. I'm like, oh, awesome.
What sorts of sports? And
No
please
idea.
tell me that the ability to stand up is not going to be a sport.
No, but I'm hoping for some robot battles. Like, do you remember those late 90s, early 2000s robot battles?
They were.
I'm
mean
hoping for
BattleBots?
that shit. Yeah, BattleBots. I'm hoping for that shit to be in there, and just like robots going at it, like tearing each other apart, and the crowd's going wild and
I want some serious mech warrior stuff with freaking missiles, and them to have like an entire shielded, bulletproof stadium for them just to fight it out.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
I want like robot analysis, like break down all their weapons and armor types and like prediction and stuff. That'd be awesome. But no, it could be something as simple as maybe soccer.
Robot javelin.
Robotic tank warfare.
Yeah, a robotic javelin is just called a tank cannon, basically.
Robot synchronized swimming.
Yeah,
That would be
synchronized
too easy.
diving, just be awesome.
No, that would be impossible, because even if both of them blue screened, then that would be they both stop at the exact same time, so it's still
Robotic
synchronized.
cycling?
Yep. See that points are awarded for being able to survive the dive into the water and then coming out. So
Oh yeah, and they're only allowed to use like a particular amount of water shielding on the robot.
yeah, exactly.
So there's a chance that after 1 minute it will short circuit. That would be cool.
The robot marathon would be kind of pointless.
Yeah. Okay, I'm seeing the problem already. Everyone's going to watch this Robot Olympics expecting death and destruction because that seems to be what humans like in robots.
Correct.
Yeah, but instead it'll be robots, riding a bicycle or something.
Oh.
Hmm.
All right. Well,
We go to the robot weightlifting. Wait a second, that's a forklift.
it's a fork with a little Raspberry Pi attached to it. See, robot. Yeah. Speaking of further technologies, I came across this other news article which made me chuckle for a bit, titled "Windows Development Set to be Unified by Microsoft for their next operating system," which I tend to laugh my ass off because that's what fucking Windows 8 was supposed to do, and it didn't work too well. Because Microsoft, if you haven't figured it out already, Windows 8 probably works really well on your Surface and touch devices. It did not fucking work on desktop. Because I can't tap my screen really hard and expect it to react to it.
Currently
I can
using
punch
Windows
it and it'll
8.1. Works beautifully. Install Classic Shell, you noob.
That's the thing, no, I just actually...
Get
I did-
wrecked!
Because I've been using Windows 7 in the past 2 or 3 years, probably 2 years, and I just got my new solid state, and then I bought Windows 8, installed it on it, and I haven't yet installed. Well, gone to the store and then installed 8.1. So I haven't tested 8.1 yet, but
Install
I'm hoping.
Classic Shell. It's basically just awesome.
Well, that's the thing. Like I got around the problem of the Metro screen with Windows Key X and Windows Key C. That gives me most of the things I wanted from a start menu, or right click and bring up properties. So, and I didn't mind the fact that I had to press my Windows key and then type in a name, and then all the apps showed up. So
Yeah, nah, it's not doing
it's the
it for
fact
me.
that the problem was I had to take my mouse cursor and take it to the very top right corner of my screen, and wait for it to register and then fucking show up that little side panel. That annoys me. I don't like that. Hence, like my Windows C key, replace that.
Yeah, after using Windows 8 for the first time, I literally went home and bulk bought about 6 copies of Windows 7. I have 6 unused copies of Windows 7 Ultimate, just sitting there, just ready, just in case I need to do a fresh install for any reason.
Is it behind the glass case, which you have to smash open with like a hammer? It says in emergency.
Break in case of emergency.
Yeah.
Windows 7.
Hard drive corruption.
I was about to say, you're able to get Windows 7 until January next year, and it will be supported until 2020.
Yes.
Standard roadmap.
That'll be
But
awesome.
Here's what makes me laugh about the article is the fact that Microsoft are trying to get this point across about one operating system for developers, so you can run your apps across no matter what device it's on, the app will run. Now, I think that was the original goal of Windows 8, was the fact that it's a unified environment for Microsoft's stack. You can use it on the Surface, Windows Phone, and your desktop. Now, the main problem is that's 3 very different resources and processing capabilities. It doesn't work. So that
It
at least that's
unifies
where
Windows 8 with Windows 8.
We can guarantee this device will run Windows 8.
Windows 8. We can't guarantee that you're going to get the exact same experience across all different platforms. The fact that it's like, well, it's Windows 8, so it should work, right? I'm like, well, yes, it works in Windows 8. The fact that you're going from desktop to, which has like a CPU, like a much more powerful CPU, more RAM, more resources at its disposal, to a small little smartphone, even though apparently Windows phones are good, and people I know who do have them do say they're good.
You know people that have them?
Yeah, I've got one
Yes.
at work.
Yeah, my brother, he
Not too
bought
bad.
what's the submerged the Nokia you can submerge underwater and you fucking do shit with. Is it Nokia? I think it was Nokia.
I don't typically try to drown my phones.
Neither do I. I'm like, the thing is, I don't plan on diving into the ocean with my phone, take a picture. So that was a
that
novelty
sounds-
that lasted 5 minutes in our fish tank. Where we realized like how limited his capabilities were. I'm like, you realize you have to submerge your hand into the fish tank to get things done. He goes, dude.
You do know Cat make a phone. Cat, the large mining machinery manufacturer.
Really? I assume
Yep,
this
it's called
is
the
some
B10,
sort of heavy-
and you can probably quite literally run over it with a tank and it will still work.
Nice.
It is like they had a demonstration of it at the last trade show I was at, and the thing, quite literally, they were smacking it with a hammer and it was still fine.
Okay.
Impressive.
I have to ask. Was Kogan's new phone like placed next to it?
That would actually be
I-
pretty
I-
good if they did, but no.
I don't have high hopes for this phone. I realize that apparently they're shooting for this value for money thing, but based on some of the other stuff Kogan are trying to flog on their online store, like apart from the TVs, which I hear are reasonably okay, I cannot trust this phone. It's cheap, and apparently the specs look quite good, the value you're paying, but I'm still cynical. I'm like, I have a feeling that this phone will be great for 1 year, and then once that warranty runs out, just like the old Dells, it'll be fucked. And you have to buy a new phone, Kogan, which would be another great value for money. So,
Yep. Since we're talking about phones, guys, we should very quickly talk about Amazon and the huge losses they're making. We've already beefed on their phone and why it was completely shit. And in our infinite wisdom, we have, of course, been proven correct. It's called the Fire Phone? What was it called? My memory's already lost. But
They call everything their fire something.
yeah. And it naturally sucked because no one wanted a phone for that price at all. And
especially those specs.
they sunk way too much money into its marketing. Now, what the heck are they going to do? They need a comeback, and a quick one, if they're going to recover from this.
I'm pretty sure I
Stick
called
to
it.
what you were always doing. You're already making money.
Yeah, that's true. Just be Amazon.
No, I'm pretty sure I called it on the episode when we discussed this. They need to get their drone shipping up and running so that it's
Oh,
pinpoint
yes.
accuracy. That's what this phone will do. It's the fact that Amazon will guarantee that it'll get their parcel to you wherever your phone is.
Well,
Hence, wherever you are. So drop the
Andrew and I...
price, past Android shipping by their droids. It's all good.
True. Andrew and I have been discussing at great length my ingenious method of delivery that I dreamt up one night. It came to me in a vision where the postal service
Alcohol may have been involved.
might have been involved, where you get your package from the post office not via a person on a postie bike, but via a rail cannon that just shoots it towards you. The dilemma, of course, being that the incoming package would obliterate not only your mailbox, but probably your entire house and the suburb if it impacted hard enough.
I'm fairly sure a Nokia 3310 would still survive.
Well, no, it would survive, but that amount of mass held at that speed, the Earth wouldn't.
But we have a solution, of course, which is to just parachute the thing, so it slows right down. But then, of course, wind resistance and winds become an issue, but just make it a drone. So it parachutes itself to a slow speed once it's reached.
Wait, so we're railgunning drones now?
Yes. Load a
Why don't you use the
onto a railgun.
Maybe not
coming
drone,
from the
but
other side of the planet.
Yes, because if you need to get something from, I don't know, New York to California or something really quickly, you can just rail can it, into the atmosphere and back. And when it reaches the city, it slows itself down via parachute, releases a drone. The drone carries the package to the exact address. You've ordered something online, and you've literally received it within about half an hour.
What you are proposing is essentially the same as attaching some bottle rockets to an AK-47.
Yeah.
What are you trying to achieve apart from destroying a lot of equipment?
Extremely
Fuck you,
fast
science!
delivery. I
You've
think we
already
can do
got
better.
a delivery method. You don't need to attach rockets to said delivery method.
That delivery method
this doesn't
involves
have
a lot
rockets,
of
you see,
handling.
You see, Carl, this doesn't have rockets because it's a railgun. It just goes.
Fine then, sorry, ballistic force.
Yes, there's that, and then it uses a parachute, one damn big, very strong parachute, probably made out of Kevlar, to slow itself down so it doesn't collide with your house and wipe out the human race.
Okay, slight tangent.
Yes.
But,
Tangent to a tangent.
slight, to another tangent, which brings us back to the original point. Now, during the week, I did my first online purchase. Shock, seeming I'm a software developer, but I realized one of these things that annoys me, like, probably shits me to tears about ordering things online, is fucking waiting to the point where I click enter, and I type in my credit card details or my PayPal details, click enter, and then I have to fucking wait 3 whole days for an SSD, which came in the size, like a small little cardboard box. It took 3 days to go from essentially a 45-minute drive.
Rail can.
So, like,
Yep.
like
5 minutes.
this is no. It takes it normally takes me say 45 minutes to drive from Lidcombe to North Sydney. It took Australia fucking Post 3 whole days to go the exact same distance.
Yep.
This is
Railgun.
why I don't like ordering online. This is why I like going to a retail store, because when I fucking pay money, I expect to get the product then and there, not wait 3 whole days.
But see, this could be like automated. The rail cannon is loaded via an automatic warehouse. The warehouse just goes, have we got this item in stock? Yes, get the robotic arm to grab it, put it in the gun, and shoot. It's something where you would press the send, you would get the website that says payment acknowledged and accepted, and you can literally already hear the whistling of the incoming drone.
Exactly. Australia Post, we have solved your shitty, inefficient system. Railguns the way they go.
I gotta
Done.
patent this
Sold.
shit.
See, originally it didn't have the drone parachute solution. It literally just collided with your house. So you walk
Yeah.
outside, you go, I wonder when my package is going to arrive, and then die.
No, it's even that. They give you they give you the point in time in which the package will be landing on the area. So it's like Australia Post gives you this little SMS. It should be SMS coordinates and a timestamp. You stand on those coordinates at that time, hold out your arms, and a parachute just lands in your hand. Done.
Oh, that'd be gorgeous.
It'd be amazing. We've done it.
Amazon, make this happen. Okay, you've got the drones down packed. We've heard all over the news how you're delivering stuff with your drones. You just need to introduce an automatic warehouse delivery system to a rail cannon, and it's all sorted. Okay, you will make billions.
And we expect a cut, being the grand designers of said system,
Yep, that
Yep.
would be nice. That would be very nice.
My brain
or at
hurts.
least store credit on it.
We've ruined Cal.
Mission accomplished. Nice. Well,
What's everyone been playing?
yes. Shall we move? Are we moving on to games? No one else has any genius ideas that can rival mine.
Nope, games.
Okay.
Cal, what have you been playing lately?
I have been playing 2 games. The first one, I decided to actually get a sports game. because why not? And I got AFL Live 2.
Oh wow!
Oh,
All the
terrible.
Australian sports, you had to pick that one.
Yeah, the one that's actually fun to play on a console. No, but there's only one point I have to say about it, which is at the beginning of this game. For you, those of you who don't know AFL, it's a sport with a pretty high injury rate. It's probably because everyone is running very, very fast for quite a long amount of time. And during the start of this game, you set your career mode, etc., etc., and at the beginning, you set the injury rate, which is either none, slight, normal, or heavy. And I set it on slight, add a little bit of realism. Second round, 7 players injured. 7
Impressive.
players injured. One of them for 12 weeks with a strained groin.
Truth.
How do you strain your groin so much that you're out for 12 weeks? I don't understand.
Was this an on-field injury, or did it
No,
happen?
the better
in the
thing is, for
bathrooms?
anyone who understands AFL, is that it was my player Kurt Tippett who got injured. And anyone who has actually watched the game knows that Kurt Tippett, when he gets injured, he gets really injured. So I've got to thank them for the realism there. And the other game I've been playing is actually more of a replay of, guess what? A visual novel.
No.
Because screw everybody. Which is actually Grisaya no Kajitsu, or The Fruits of Grisaya. Really, really good. It's probably one of the better ones to introduce anybody into the visual novel genre, because it is very, very simple mechanics. It's not a dating sim, it's not anyone's like that, it's just basically I'm reading a book.
Cool.
And it is absolutely excellent. I recommend anybody who's actually interested in actually trying visual novels, this one is the one to try. That or Katawa Shoujo, because it's free.
Nice. Do they have a diverse selection of genres when it comes to...
Oh,
VNs?
yeah. I imagine you've probably seen the anime Fate Stay Night.
No, actually, I haven't.
You haven't? Okay, that's based on a visual novel. The visual
Yeah.
novel is significantly better.
Really?
That one, yep, much better.
So I've watched all the episodes of that anime except for the last one.
Yeah,
Don't ask
get the
why.
visual novel. It's
Just-
actually very, very good. But yeah, no. There's a really wide array of different genres. In fact, you'll find most of the animes that you see ever released are usually based on a visual novel or a manga. Probably Fate Stay Night is probably the most prime example, but there's also When They Cry, Higurashi, that's based on a visual novel. Anyone who actually watches harems because you're a desperate loser of some form, there's
us.
the entire Da Capo series each one is based on the visual novel set. No, there's absolutely plenty of them. Nearly every harem ever created is based on a visual novel or a dating sim. A lot of different ones are all based on visual novels.
Harem animes. I was just telling you blokes before how I was just watching this anime called If Her Flag Breaks. It's available on
no.
Crunchyroll, and to anyone
Anybody
listening,
with sanity, stop listening now.
no, to anyone listening, seriously, go out and Google it, or it's on Crunchyroll, so you can watch it for free. I defy you to watch this and then to attempt to comprehend what the hell just goes on in the last episode, because it's actually kind of evil. It's one of those harems where it turns out pretty much all of the girls don't actually exist, and the whole thing was a virtual reality thing, kind of like the Matrix or something. And
Spoiler alert.
the real world
spoilers,
sucks.
man. Ruined it.
But it's also not. It's like.
It's like the time I ruined school days.
The thing is, you can't ruin that anime for people. You have to let them experience that
It's
last
so
episode.
hilarious.
They need to watch their reactions to record it.
Oh yeah, the reaction whenever they watch the last episode. Fuck, that's funny.
It's like all the other episodes
It's so
are irrelevant.
unexpected. Alright.
Yes. All right. Andrew, what have you been playing?
The Battlefield 4 DLC Dragon's Tooth.
Oh, I've been playing that too. It's very good, actually. I don't mind it.
On PC or console?
What, do I look like a pleb to you? Of course I play on PC.
Excellent. Well, add me on Origin.
PC Master Race, bitch.
Indeed. It's actually been pretty... I mean, Tucker's been playing with me as well, because we tried to do a video of it, but it kind of failed, so hopefully we'll have another one. We'll have to get you in on that, Cal.
Yeah, no, I am the master troll.
Excellent. That's what we need. Someone to piss John off. But that was actually a pretty good expansion. It's completely infantry focused. I mean, there's one map. There's some vehicles in each map, but not nearly as many as normal. So it's very infantry focused, which makes for some of the maps is just kind of like run out, sniper, die, run out, die, run out, die, run out, die.
That
but
sounds like our experience on the North Korean map.
Oh yeah,
propaganda.
Yeah, propaganda. Just spawn die, spawn die, spawn die, spawn die. Yes.
And the chain link mode was actually a lot of fun. That introduced a few different mechanics. Although one strange thing that I found with the new maps is that occasionally or actually all the time, you go, all right, let's go to this objective, run around a corner, there'd be like 3 or 4 of us, and the entire enemy team was waiting for us. This happens a lot. So you walk around and go, oh, right, well, we're all dead, and then you get shot by 32 people, and, well, yeah, might as well just quit the game at that point.
No, that's when you get a jihad chopper.
Well, these are the levels without the chopper.
Do something.
Well, for me, it's pull out the MG4, run around and laugh.
Do you use MG4? AWS for the win, bitch.
Oh, Cal, you have no dignity.
Yeah, this is true. I spend most of the time just camping the sniper rifle. And I'm yet to try out the 20 times zoom, but he was always wondering why it's a random abstract corner of the map, like on a high position. He's like, why aren't you moving? I'm like, camping, legit strap.
Yeah, you're a sniper.
Andrew, so do you play primarily as support then?
Primarily engineer, but I do play a lot of support.
Do you play assault much?
Have lately. I got the Bulldog.
I was about to say, what are your thoughts on the Bulldog?
Who thought that was a balanced gun?
I have to admit, because I actually looked up the real life specs of the Bulldog, and we are in no way close to this. All it is it's a short-barreled rifle, which means that, its accuracy in the game is far too high. A short-barreled rifle is not that accurate.
Well, it is a bullpup, so the barrel is actually a lot longer than it would be on a full-size rifle.
Yeah, but it's still a short stock. I mean, it's as accurate as the AUG, and the AUG has twice the barrel length.
Yeah, fair enough. No, the stats of the gun in game is retarded.
And also the fact that I think it's one of the few guns in the game that uses a 7.62 round.
Yeah,
rather than a 5.56, which is what makes it OP in the first place.
The only thing that doesn't have is rate of fire. That's about it.
A clip worthy.
Oh yeah, it's 21 rounds in the magazine. Kill one guy, reload. But yeah, it's a stupid gun. That thing is just like, lol, I win.
I actually didn't end up liking it because I found the clip size to be too short. It's great when you're one-on-one, but the moment you get a second person, you're like, ooh, I actually need to, concentrate on my bullets. That's why I still stick with my AC-23.
The Ace series of guns in Battlefield are probably the best.
It's just a great high rate of fire with low recoil. It doesn't matter that the damage is low.
Well, that's it.
When you've got a high rate of fire and low recoil, who cares?
The stability on those guns is great. It's one of the reasons I love the MG4 is because of the stability means that you can fire at all ranges. That and it's got 200 rounds in the magazine. It just pisses people off. And you put a suppressor on it, because that makes sense. You've got a machine gun with a suppressor.
Why not?
So yeah, that's Dragon's Teeth.
That sounds like a thing. Tucker, what have you been playing?
Unfortunately, I'm so busy this week with work and programming that, even after watching Newbie's one-sided victory over VG, a bit of data, clearly. Hearthstone, where I finally fucking beat a Warlock Murloc deck. I crushed that motherfucker. Saw him drop that Warlock deck. So he went the loading screen, saw the Warlock. I'm like, okay, as long as I can get a nice easy rush deck in my first draw, should be good. I can load in, and I go, okay, I got like a 1 and a 2 mana card and a 5. Let me replace the 5, and I got the as a mage, the what's Arcade Missiles. So I had that. I had a the Elf Archer, and I think I had another 2 mana card. Can't remember.
What are you doing with an Elf Archer?
Oh, because as soon as you drop it, you get the battle cry of deal 1 damage.
Yeah,
which is exactly what you want against a Murloc deck. So he pops. We go into the game. He drops the Murloc. I'm like, because he went first. I'm like, I've got this. I'm gonna fucking crush you. He keep trying to play it, and I kept like wiping his entire deck. And I can see this like that smug little fucking smile on his face like slowly disappear. I'm like, that's right, you fucking prick. I've got you.
The reason Murloc decks don't actually get that far up the ladder is they do quite often lose.
It's because it's a 50-50. You have to have the perfect. Yeah, it has to have the right. It's just the luck of getting all the cards in roughly order that you want to have. And just every time he kept trying to drop all these Murlocs and trying to get them built up, I just kept wiping his deck, just taking it out. So
yeah. Speaking of Hearthstone, I played the single player expansion. Have you played it?
I so want to, but I only see the problem is I only have the free deck you can make for a mage. So I think I went into Icy Veins and I grabbed the no mana, so the no Arcane Dust deck.
Yes.
You only need to be like level 10 to create it, so I grabbed that. So I believe if I tried playing Naxxramas, that I'll just get like it would probably take me 20 goes, like maybe 5 to 10 goes to get it, just because the deck I have is good for like the value of Arcane Dust, which is 0. But I understand that I think essentially the bosses have like what 40? Is it 40 HP or 45?
45
so 45,
heroic.
and they start off. They essentially start off with is it 2 free minions on the board already?
That's the Spider Queen, the final boss. I'm very miffed about that because it's a broken deck. It's very easy to beat.
Really?
Yes, it's extremely easy to beat the Queen. You just need to play.
Just go control mage with spells.
Just control mage and put down minions whose battle cry is to heal. And so then, because every single time that the computer has a turn, it just wipes your deck and puts your cards from the back into your hand, so you can play it again and just keep healing yourself over and over again until they run out of cards and start killing themselves.
That's probably the problem with my deck is that I've gone for the low cost rush. Well, yeah, the low cost rush deck essentially. So the deck's very good of getting, between 1 to 4 mana cards. Then you got like a 5 and a 6 and a 7. So
yeah, no, you have
but
to.
No healing. There's no healing in my deck, and there's no taunt in my deck. It's pretty much put pressure on the board from the start, and then try and build it up. So keep that board advantage going. That's how you win.
No, you have to build a custom deck for these bosses.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Like even though I'm using this deck and I'm rank 17 at the moment, I realize that I do need to. I need to get some dust.
Yeah.
The worst thing is I have 1,000 gold sitting on my account. I just haven't done arenas yet. So
it's annoying.
I will play it, and I will try and play it during the week, and I will hopefully give you my impression next week. And I'm guessing John will also give his because I know he played it during the week as well.
I'm sure he's absolutely loving it, but I'm not convinced. I don't think I'll be buying the rest of the expansions.
Let's think. This is just the first week.
Yeah,
it's the first week. So,
but it's supposed to be free to give you an idea of what the other expansions will be like, so that you have a good understanding of value for what you're buying, which is a really good move for a free-to-play game. I really, I tip my fedora to Blizzard for that. I don't actually own a fedora.
Insert parkour.
Yeah. So yeah, that was. But it wasn't all bad. I'm just miffed about that. I was wanting like the final boss battle to be heroic, and I played it once. I saw that they kept on removing your cards back into your hand. And went, I can beat this. I'll just change my deck and fixed, done, beat it.
Now, were you playing on normal mode or?
No, this is heroic. This was the heroic.
Really?
I wanted a real challenge, and too easy.
Because generally, from like the WoW point of view, like raids on normal mode once you get the hang of it and know what you're doing, they're relatively easy. But once you start moving into, say, heroic, for example, heroic Nax, like 25 heroic Nax, that's like coordination. It actually takes skill and like it's going to be a hard like battle to try and get it. Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm expecting from this. So I'm like, shit, do I have an hour to sit down and actually play this? Because I said, like, my Hearthstone, when I play it, it's 10 minutes in the morning before I go to work. So there's not enough time to sit down and do Nax. That's why I rarely do arenas. Because it's half an hour alone for me to go through and create a deck. Because I don't play any other deck apart from Mage, so I've got no fucking idea. So if Mage isn't the free version, like isn't one of the 3 classes you can choose, I've got to sit down, I've got to have the spreadsheet open and go controls, like look at whatever I've got to select from in my draft, and like type on the Excel sheet, Control F, whatever happens to be, which column does this land under, and then try and choose the best of those 3.
You can be whatever you want to be.
Yeah, I need to do that more often. I probably would enjoy arenas a lot more if I stopped trying to make the best deck, which may not always be the best idea.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I kind of get this half-half deck, even though they're all rated very good cards. The fact that most of the time, even my mana curve could be just skewed too much to one side. So.
This is kind of sad. This is okay. My follow-up's been ruined because there's no John, and I've completely skipped my news story because I was also going to do a Apple rant, and even
oh no, we can still do Apple rants.
I could still do the Apple rant. Well, it's actually not much
can.
of a story. It's just that Bose Audio is suing Beats for copyright infringement, and the fact that this is happening on not new products, and it's happening just as Apple's bought Beats probably has nothing to do with it, guys. Nothing at all.
Now, did Bose think about this before they decided to, take them to court? The fact that Apple has a ridiculous... They have more money and resources in their legal department who have a lot of experience in essentially fending off... I'm assuming this is some sort of a patent dispute, or...
It certainly is.
Yes.
But Apple also has lots more money,
Exactly, that's the point. It's like, Apple has more money...
Money that they can lose if the copyright is accepted.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's sort of like going hunting. Are you hunting for quail or deer?
Hmm.
When Beats is by itself, it's hunting for quail.
Yeah.
Or maybe Bose think that Apple's just too weak from their battles with Samsung. Like, take a stab at it.
They got their resolve weakened by Samsung.
Exactly.
Well, it's possible. I mean, those lawsuits went for years, and they cost them a horrendous amount of money, and they got virtually nothing for it.
Yeah. So perhaps Apple might go, oh, screw it, whatever, just cancel the product or something.
Doubt that.
It is possible, but I doubt that. And unfortunately, this week, because I haven't been busy with actual work like you, Tucker, I've just been busy playing Kerbal so much. Just nothing but Kerbal Space Program.
Whenever I log into Steam, you're just playing Kerbal. Even if you're not there, it just says Kerbal. I'm like, how much fucking space sim can you do in like...
This thing is an absolute time cruncher. It just kills your hours. And you're back. Oh, God.
See, this is why I'm not playing it, because I got too many other things to do, like play games. And I
yeah,
can't
but
do
you
it
can
if I'm
go
playing.
to the Mun. The moon. But I thought, so instead of an actual game review, I would list all the games that I really want off my Steam library. Because you cannot remove games off your Steam library. You can uninstall them, which just grays them out, but it's still there in your library.
Is the Stanley Parable one of them?
No, the Stanley Parable is not one of them, because I'm perfectly fine having a game where I can't get an achievement. There are plenty of games where I haven't got all the achievements.
Yep, I think for most of the games, I don't give a flying fuck about achievements. But the only one I probably will be the Final Fantasy X and 10-2 HD remake.
Yeah.
Or remake, sorry. Only because, like, when the original FFX came out, I did every possible thing I could do in it. And I've done it for every Final Fantasy game. I've tried to get 100% complete, fight all the bosses, try and get all the chocobos, everything. So, I will continue that tradition and just barricade myself to my PS3.
And then you were disappointed by Final Fantasy 13 because you can't really do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Too linear.
Oh.
I didn't mind it too much. Just
it was still good because the story was strong, but it was just that it was too linear.
Yeah, and then 13.2 just went, you know what? They didn't like linear. Let's make it completely free roaming and not tell them where the fuck to go because oh my gosh, that was what the one problem is like. Shit,
it's like Morrowind all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Like I understand when they were developing it, they had in mind like the game path. It's like start here and then you go to this. They'll understand. They'll get it. No, Square Enix, we didn't get it because you didn't fucking give us any indication of where to go. You gave us 3 doors, and then you have this limited resource of, was it the spheres or something? I can't remember what it was. But you have to find these, and if you went past one and like you'd miss it, and then you get to the door, it's like also the time gate or the warp gate, and you go to use it, and you're like, oh fuck, I'm missing this specific sphere. Shit.
In fact, Tucker, you'd probably be pretty disappointed with me because I actually haven't finished 13. And do you want to know why?
Why?
Because fuck Orphan. Fuck Orphan.
Yeah.
Fuck. I sunk 4 straight hours over 4 battles trying to beat him.
Yeah, just...
Fuck. Orphan.
I'm feeling a lot of hatred here. I'm feeling a lot of hatred.
Well, okay, if it makes you feel better, like, I started playing 13.3, and I just haven't got back to it yet.
Alright, gents. Let's get your opinion on this list of games that I no longer want. The first
Which doesn't
game
include Stanley Parable.
does not include the Stanley Parable.
Because you're
First
not
one-
a achievement hunter.
True that. The first one is the Left 4 Dead 2 beta. Not because it's a bad game, it just doesn't really have that much online population compared to, the actual Left 4 Dead 2 game. I hop on it every now and then going, hey, does anyone else want to play the beta? Because I can't get rid of this damn game.
Didn't you? Okay, but you got the free one, right? During
Yeah.
Christmas, Steam. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Then I figured Steam would have gone, oh, you've got the proper version or the retail version. We can remove the beta for you.
Yes.
You'd think.
You'd think.
You'd
but
think.
No,
But
no,
it's clear that-
I have it, so I will keep that game and I will take it to my grave.
Look, I understand why they don't have the time and resources to, help us with this problem, because they're clearly working on Half-Life 3. If you think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah,
That
if
game is
it's
going
the
to be
only
the
possible
biggest
reason.
letdown known to man. Because there is
Ooh.
nothing they could ever actually make that could live up to the hype.
you know what they
Yeah.
should do? I just thought of something bloody awesome. Okay, so they should release the game. Everyone's going, holy shit, it's out. We got to play it. And you're in a room and you're not quite sure where you are, and eventually you find yourself to a room with a mirror, and you look into the mirror, and it's Duke Nukem.
No. What it is that they will release a limited collector's edition, and it will come with the game, a nice little box, some box art, 4 hookers which are stationed to you for the rest of your life, a lifetime supply of Doritos and Mountain Dew, and a subscription that allows you to have every new motherboard, graphics card, and Intel chip that ever comes out for the rest of your life. And people will still find something to bitch about.
If anyone
Yeah.
gave
no, there's a fix for
that
that.
deal a 9 out of 10, I would actually kill them.
But you see, the 10 out of 10 version will be there's the fact that Lord Gavin will come and just be in your presence for just the slightest moment,
Oh,
and you will ascend.
it'll just be a moment of bliss.
What is also included in the limited edition is a vial containing the semen of our Lord and Saviour Gabriel.
Ascension achieved.
It'll come with a special pop-up notification.
And you can use
the
it
Steam
to impregnate
overlay.
your hookers via artificial insemination.
We'll also come with a pop-up in the Steam overlay that says Lord Gaben is watching you play. And you're like,
No.
he's watching.
I-
I must
I'm
fight
comfortable
with
with
all my skill.
I'm comfortable with this.
Now that would be awesome.
So we've confirmed it. This is what Half-Life 3 will be. Done.
Yes.
That's another thing that's on my list. I got this Half-Life 3 beta as well. God, it needs to get off that list. Kidding. Super Meat Boy.
Really?
God, I hate that game. Fucking Super
one?
Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy is the most aggravating game I've ever played. And it shits me to no end that I was actually recommending the other day a very similar game called They Bleed Pixels, which is just impossible. You cannot progress beyond a certain point. You'll get to a point where your skill can never beat that section of the game, ever.
Harry, I'm pretty sure your screen is just broken.
More like my hands. From bashing the keyboard in frustration. Surprisingly, I've actually thrown on this list Outlast because, as obviously the game is very affecting. I'm terrified when I play it, but because of that, I never get anywhere. I'm a perfectionist playthrough. I want to have like a proper playthrough, so every time I open it up, I start a new game, and then I get about 20 minutes in, I freak out and go, "Ha ha! I've been scared successfully." Well, until next time.
I found the trick if you can't get past a place in a horror game is put on some stupid accent and commentate on yourself.
Oh no! Look, the fat man is chasing me.
That, and also there is one thing that is the same in every survival horror game. You always run faster than them.
This is
So
true.
just like, you could actually speed run the whole game, because none of them can catch up with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The only exception to that rule was bloody Amnesia and those fucking crazy-ass ghoul things. I fucking hated those.
I
You
played
had to
that for
avoid them like the
15
plague.
minutes.
They were a bitch. They could run as fast as you. I don't think they could run faster necessarily.
The whole thing is as fast as you, so long as they didn't get you, you can still just keep running. Speedrun the game.
Yeah, true. Now, the single most hated game on my entire games list is called Defense Grid: The Awakening. Or as I like to call it, Achievements Simulator 2008.
Wait, no, Defense Grid: The Awakening.
Yes.
That's a name.
That's a name. That's an actual name for a shitty...
Did they actually go to a game name generator?
Probably.
Possibly.
Not a very good one.
You've taken like a fantasy style The Awakening and put it with like a military defense grid. Lightning Returns, Battlefield 4.
I
seriously,
hate this game.
That's the first thing that came to mind. Lightning Returns, Battlefield 4.
It's
No,
a perfectly...
EA already did that with Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least Hardline sounds like something that would be associated with Battlefield.
It does.
Not
until you
like
play it.
Battlefield
Yes, it does.
Super Kawaii Desert.
That needs to
Extreme
happen.
fatal.
That needs to happen.
That actually does need to happen. That would be
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's the next Battlefield. I'd actually buy that one.
I believe Super Kawaii Edition is a mod for Skyrim and Fallout 3.
What
Doesn't
Interesting.
surprise me.
What is it that every NPC calls you a Nichan?
Just they all have anime hair and anime eyes. It's
Oh man,
It turns into a harem. That's just what it does.
I'm just imagining like hold down Q and press the orders. All it says is kawaii in all of them.
Super Kawaii Shout in Skyrim.
yeah. But hold on, I'm not finished with beefing on this game because I hate it that much. It's actually a semi-functional tower defense game, like those flash games you used to play on browser. It's just that this game has a massive hard-on for achievements. Literally, before I even pressed the new game button, I literally had achieved 3 achievements via Steam. The first achievement was for my opening the game. The second achievement was for optimizing the game. Literally, if you optimize it or change any setting in any way, I think I just changed the res to 1080p, it gave me a fucking achievement for that. And you get an achievement about every 5 seconds throughout the game. I only played the thing for 20 minutes, and I have literally over 100 achievements for this game.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
Is there achievement for getting an achievement?
Yes, I think there was an achievement when you get like 20 achievements or something.
Then it is truly an achievement simulator.
I love achievements, okay, but this thing is like massive inflation. It just gives them no value. At first, I was kind of curious about why I was getting all these achievements. Then I became bored. Then I just started to despise them. And the more achievements I got, the more I hated the game. So after 20 minutes, I just closed down the game and never opened it again. I want it off my library. Gabe, just make it disappear.
You pray hard enough to him, it might happen.
Yeah.
You know what would be even better? If you could gift it to people.
Oh,
I'll give it to John. He'd just love it.
No, then you could just create an account you're never going to use and gift all the games to that.
Oh, that's actually a good idea.
A dumping account.
That's bloody genius. Well,
Yeah, no, just put the account on the Gabe Newell, lol.
Nice.
We should all just discuss, like, try and figure out what his actual Steam account is and just gift him.
There was someone who posted a screenshot a while ago that they were actually playing Civ 5 multiplayer against Sid Meier. And like they could tell because the chat window, his name was in green. No one's name is in green.
Except for
Arrogant
his.
freak.
Interesting.
It's Sid Meier. If anyone in the gaming industry can be an arrogant prick, the only ones that I have exceptions for are Gabe Newell, because he's Gabe Newell.
Yeah, he is our Lord and Saviour.
Yep.
Of course.
Sid Meier. Probably. Definitely. Chris Roberts. Chris Roberts is amazing. And just because you're all here, Tetsuya Nomura.
Now, what's he known for?
Are you serious?
You just
Tetsuya
remind me.
Nomura.
Just
The
remind
guy who
me.
has created who did the character design for every single Final Fantasy.
Well, that would explain it. I've
Yep.
played Final Fantasy VI, and that's it.
We need to introduce you to all the other ones, which are important to
Yeah,
play.
no. Did you know that
8 is the best one.
Tucker, did you know that Final Fantasy 15 they've actually promoted Tetsuya Nomura to actually directing the damn thing?
Really? I thought he was just sitting in the background, just kind of...
No, he's listed as a director.
Ah, interesting.
And
Even though they've
some
stated
random
that
unknown.
this is going to be a game that just put out because people wanted it, they weren't quite happy with it.
Well, the thing is, I do basically just trust Tetsuya Nomura. Remember he started out in Final Fantasies, I think 4, 5, and 6.
4 and 5, 6, yeah.
Yeah, and then Final Fantasy 7, he was just the character designer. He wasn't actually directing the story, but people realized, holy crap, this guy actually writes good things. The characters are actually really good. And he got promoted to, actually writing things. And then we got, the later Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy 9, which I think was quite a bit him. And Final Fantasy 9 was actually like a true Final Fantasy. It wasn't going to the sci-fi edge, it went back to its sort of classical
back to
fantasy roots.
And I enjoyed 8 more than 9, though. Like, there were a couple of
8
things
was
I didn't
awesome.
quite like about 9. Like, overall, it was a good game. But I think that just having played 8 first, then going into... Sorry, playing 8, then went to 7, 10, then into 9.
8 had a great story with a shit game mechanic.
What was the trouble game mechanic?
I didn't like the GF junctioning system. Hated it.
Oh, that was
Uh,
a pain in the ass to figure out.
It-
Once you figured it out,
it
though,
wasn't too bad.
You just go to the island closest, or you get death. You junction death to your attack.
Yeah.
But also the amount of basically tanking you had to do. You had to, before you went into any sort of big, well, I don't know, for lack of a better word, dungeon, you basically just wandered around using bloody draw everywhere you could, so you could develop as much of that magic as you can to
You
junction
had
it.
to grind like crazy, and death, the spell death is one of the hardest to get. And so you'd run around the map slowly going insane. You'd eventually get enough of that, junction that to your attack, then go to the island closest to hell, run in, take one attack because it's the biggest, nastiest creatures in the game. If it didn't kill
the
it, go
Malboro.
shit, run. Yeah, or the island closest to hell was the place for XP. So all the biggest, nastiest critters were there. So you take all your low-level characters, take one high-level character with death
Yeah, I used to do
junction,
that as well. Yeah.
attack. Hopefully you kill the bastard in one hit. If you didn't, then you were screwed. And then they'd all get XP. So your low-level characters would go up by about 10 levels for killing one guy. And that was how you ground in the later
Well,
stage.
have you got
Yeah.
the Final Fantasy 7 and 8 on Steam?
I've got 8.
Yeah, because they actually include in Final Fantasy 8, it's the magic booster. Can't remember what it is in Final Fantasy.
Ah, yeah.
But they're massive boosts, so that you don't have to grind.
Well, that was the worst part of... one of the reasons why the game was so damn long for 8 is because of the grinding, and it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, so Final Fantasy 8 was an enjoyable experience via Steam, because magic booster. I could still be at level 10 and finish off everyone because I have the best magic.
Here's the thing. This is what you guys missed out on. You missed out on the open disc trade sheet. So you'd play. I think. What's the name? Selfie. I think it was Selfie.
Let me put it this way, Tucker. The very first version of Final Fantasy 8 I played was the hardest experience ever for me because I had a glitch on my first disc.
What was the
This glitch meant that I couldn't save.
High school.
If you know about this game,
4 discs. It's the longest game.
that means I had
played.
to go through the entire first disc in
not
one
die.
sitting without dying.
Oh,
Do you know how difficult that was? I made the first mistake. I was actually getting towards the end of the 4th disc, and I'm like, you know what? I reckon I'm strong enough to take on Diabolus. Oh dear. No, I wasn't. 4.5 hours wasted.
So wait. Did you kind of shoot yourself when Skull got shot?
I've still got the disc somewhere, and there's scratches all over it from when I threw it against the wall a few times.
Gents, by means of the ether, John is of course aware what we're talking about because he just sent me a text message going, no, just stop.
It's because you told him I'm invited, didn't you?
Yeah, he just knows.
He was aware from the get-go that this episode would be all about anime, Final Fantasy,
and anime.
and apple bashing.
Nope. Stop talking about
Funnily
anime.
enough, there hasn't been much apple bashing.
No.
Which would probably make John angrier. I think you prefer the apple bashing over Final Fantasy and
He
anime.
probably would.
No, I've done enough apple bashing with Andrew at work today. Our new iMac, the Core
Oh,
i5
that
one, just
piece of
sucks.
crap.
It's a glitchy piece of junk that just glitches out like crazy. It cannot handle Finder. Finder just doesn't work. It just sort of... It's in a quantum state of existing. You open up a window and half the window's there.
So it's both
It's
found and
crashes.
unfound?
Yeah, it's absurd. Our old 2008 iMacs running Snow Leopard are just faster and more stable. Simple as that. The worst thing about a glitchy computer is you can't take it into the store because you can't guarantee they'll see the problem. You can see the problem because you use it all day, every day, and you can see that 10
That's
times
why
a
you
day.
have camera phones.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I'll take a picture of it stuffing up, but I don't really know what they can do about that.
Well, you can show it to John and piss him off.
Oh, it's on Facebook. I'm just waiting for his response.
There'll be one promptly soon.
Yes.
He'll be trying to resist and he can't.
All right.
He'll find some bug, like some known bug, or the fact that you set it up wrong or something. So it's not Apple's fault. It is clearly your fault. So that seems to be the only defense: is that it's not Apple's fault. It's your fault.
Yes, I didn't. I wasn't kind enough to Steve Jobs or something.
You didn't show enough respect to the blue shirts. That's what happened.
I see. All right. Well, on that bombshell, do you gentlemen have anything else to wrap up this doozy of a podcast?
Nope, that's everything on my part.
I think we need to, just for John's amusement, throw like an anime to watch list just on the side of every episode.
Well, this one you've just linked. Well, episode 10 I'm seeing has got the mandatory gratuitous bathhouse scene in the
Wait, what is this?
description.
That's just a requirement, Finny.
Oh, well, yeah, it's an
Wait,
anime,
which one is this?
Let's see. Inugami-san and Nekoyama-san, which basically means dog and cat. Yeah, it's a very...
Oh my god, this is the blurb. The series follows two high school girls. Yachio
Good start.
Inugami, a dog-like girl who loves cats, and Suzu Nekoyama, a cat-like girl who loves dogs.
You can see where this is
Oddly enough,
going.
This is still less outrageous than Girls und Panzer.
Girls und Panzer is my favourite anime at the moment. I love it
Girls
to
und
bits.
Panzer is freaking hilarious.
It's bloody hilarious. It's just set in the future where you can join the soccer club if you want. You could join the chess club if you want. Or you could join the tankery club and, fight freaking tank battles as a part of a high school curriculum. And these schools are versing each other using live ammunition and machine guns and shit. And no one ever dies. The tank just gets hit and the little white flag indicates that tank has been taken out. And as stupid as that sounds, it actually works to the anime's advantage because the whole show gets to, instead of focusing on death and gore and the horrors of war, gets to focus on A, tank mechanics and battle strategy, and B, super kawaii little girls that operate the tanks.
Sorry, but do you remember High School of the Dead? That was basically hentai with zombies.
Yet to watch that. Yep.
So
So that's
what?
High School of the Dead. It was
that's
basically
true.
nothing but ecchi hentai with zombies. That's all it
That
was.
sounds like a pretty grotty combo.
so Callan. Essentially, that's like a different version. Sorry, that's the zombie version of Kill la Kill. Which
Basically, look, Kill la Kill is because of its animation style. You don't take it seriously.
True.
It's drawn in a completely different style. It's not like yeah, it's a bit ecchi, but you don't really pay attention to it. It's more done for hilarity rather than fan service.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You don't actually watch Kill la Kill exclusively for the girls in ridiculous outfits, because the whole
No, I watched
thing
it because
is,
you recommended, and then
the
I
whole
just sat
thing
there
is
confused.
woven together because it is genuinely funny. The entire thing is hilarious.
Now, was that a pun?
This is what I actually end up saying a lot about VNs. People say, oh, you played for the sex scenes. It's like, dude, why the hell would I wade through 12 hours of fucking gameplay to watch a 2-minute sex scene? There is porn on the internet.
There is the internet. It has porn.
No, but you'd be surprised how many people are like, oh, you just play that for the hentai. It's like, dude, it takes like 7 or 8 hours before you even get close to that.
Initially, I would agree with you, but the having to wade through an entire game and then suddenly getting, especially when it's unexpected, a sex scene can be actually very, worth the effort. I remember playing Mass Effect 1 and all of a sudden, wait a second, this is going to be a sex scene! Yes! My hours upon hours of gameplay have, amounted to something.
The shitty characters and their crappy, awkward interactions are going to accumulate in an extremely poorly made sex scene that's really, really boring. If you haven't picked up, I hate Mass Effect.
Oh, cool, because they showed some early release pictures of Mass Effect 4.
Fuck Mass Effect. Seriously, ever since don't get me started on number 3. That fucking
Yeah,
thing.
but Harry, we all know that as soon as it comes out, you're going to spend like 2 hours on the character creation screen recreating Shepard in your new image.
Tucker, you know nothing, Jon Snow. I am not
Well,
touching
Tucker,
Mass
You're right,
Effect
it's
4.
6 hours. I'm sorry.
Tucker, you are a software developer, so you know what you have to do when Mass Effect 4 comes out. You have to make Mass Effect 4 Super Kawaii Desu Mod.
It will be done.
It damn well better be.
Anime tropes will ensue the character creation scene.
I want my male Shep in a fucking sailor's uniform.
Well, given the Sailor Moon, what's the male character for Sailor Moon? You dress up in
There's a male character in Sailor Moon.
Mask, I believe that's his name.
Oh yeah, the dude with the rose.
in the rose. Yeah, we'll just make a Shepard version of it.
Yeah.
Done.
Now that really was glorifying, a bunch of perversion, really. Because this guy's creepy as hell. He just hangs out in back alleyways and just hands out roses. What the fuck?
A bit concerning.
I have an answer for this guy. It's called a can of mace.
Or a taser.
Or a taser.
Yeah.
I'm not
How much
fussy.
this John's gonna edit out.
Yeah.
All of it.
What was that, Cal? I couldn't hear you. It was strange.
I
You started
couldn't hear you
talking and
over
then
the
all of a
cut.
sudden it just got cut.
Yeah, it's simple. He's gonna just erase this entire episode and just put like an episode constructed of like Apple ads and just documentaries.
Alright, I've got a challenge for all three of you.
Mhm.
Vinny, I think, is going to be the one person who probably won't take me up on this challenge. Have any of you actually played a VN before or read a VN?
Negative,
Nope.
but I intend to.
Nope.
I've already challenged Harry, he hasn't got around to it yet, to download Katawa Shoujo. It is a free VN. It's completely free, and it was made by English writers, so it's not got any major cultural references or anything.
Awesome.
And play it. Just give it a shot.
Here's the
I've
problem.
already put my
Link it
foot
to me
down.
and I'll give it a shot.
It's actually...
Okay, Here's the problem with VNs, is that I associate them too much with manga, so I just don't do it.
Let me
So
put it
I
this way, I
go
read-
out my way to avoid manga, because I'm like, fuck it, why would I read it if I can just watch it?
Yeah, true.
So-
That is why anime is so popular. Anyone
Exactly.
with that mindset has gone, well, I love the art style, Al, but I just don't really want to read it, per se.
Just like why I don't read comics. Like I will watch I'll enjoy like the Avengers and stuff, but I won't read.
Well,
Let me put it this way, I'll read the manga or play the VN if it is common knowledge that the manga and or VN is better.
Callan, I have a counter-challenge. When Tucker said comics, a brilliant idea just came to mind.
Oh dear God,
Please
no.
buy or borrow from me the official comic series for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. The shit is gory and hilarious.
Gory.
Yes, there's the first scene is the Chrysalis Queen falling into a town full of cute little bunny rabbits.
Why am I listening to this?
And the first thing
it's
she does
My
is
Little
eat
Pony.
everything.
It's
It's
My
really
Little
fun.
Pony, very four adventures.
Okay, I totally wasn't expecting that. I was expecting some sort of throwdown challenge from Harry, which would probably be held at like Kinokuniya, just like in the manga section, just sort of manga read off for
manga read off. No, I challenge you to either buy or borrow from me this comic book series because it's actually it's funny in just how unexpectedly gory and just.
Is it going to be like Cupcakes?
No, it is not like Cupcakes. Oh god.
I just brought back some bad memories to Harry. High five, everybody.
Thanks so much for that.
Only you understand.
Oh, it's okay. The other gentlemen and the viewers and listeners can all Google search My Little Pony Cupcakes, and they can all experience that genuine
Wait, let's see this.
Assault to the senses.
You really don't want to, Tara. Just trust us.
It's kind of like, you know how everyone has those reaction videos to Two Girls, One Cup? It's sort of like that.
So do I go web, images, or video?
Video.
There's a video?
Yes, there's a video.
Holy shit. I just read the fucking
Just
document.
to correct, this is Cupcakes, right? My Little Pony Cupcakes?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not looking at it.
I'm just seeing an assortment of cupcakes with My Little Pony dressing them.
Well, you are a lucky son of a bitch.
Oh, I see. Alright. Interesting.
Understanding is dawning.
If I had a daughter, I'd be concerned if I walked in and saw My Little Pony and then this showed up. Then it'd be her screaming, because there seems to be blood and some sort of psychotic eye gesturing.
Let me put it this way, it's like My Little Pony School Days Edition.
Okay.
And on that bombshell, I really think we should probably wrap up before John actually decides to physically kill me for this episode.
John doesn't know where I live.
He'll beat
You're
it
all
out
fucked.
of me. Well, thank you all very much for joining us on Uninformed. Please
A very
subscribe.
heavily edited Uninformed.
Yes, a very tangential Uninformed. But please subscribe to us on iTunes anyway, since most episodes are still on track. Or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. There'll be a new one every week. So if you like us, please leave a review. We're always open to comments and suggestions. And if you have some great ideas for future podcasts, go ahead and tweet us at Uninformed News, or email us at uninformedpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you to my lovely co-hosts for joining me this week. I'm Harrison Leake.
I'm Andrew Finn.
I'm Callan.
And I'm Matt Tucker, hoping VG do better next year at the International.
Matashta.
Until then.